G'day guys, Steve with Broken Sprocket. In this video I'm going to show you how to change the brakes on your dirt bike. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Okay, we're going to change the brakes on this RMZ250. We're going to change the disc and the pads because the disc on this bike is absolutely finished, it's buggered. I'm also going to show you how to pull an axle in and out properly because I never thought I would have to do this, but if you have a look at this axle here, it's very badly damaged. Someone's been beating the crap out of it with a hammer. Obviously have no idea how to change an axle, so I'll show you how to do that as well. If you see this axle, you can see it's all mushroomed out where someone's been flogging it with a hammer, so it doesn't go in all the way. You can also see here they've been trying to pry a screwdriver into here to open this gap up with, I don't know what on earth they think. They must have thought the axle goes out that way, I don't know. But you can see the damage here where they've been flogging it with a hammer. That's really bad. The same on the other side, they've been trying to pry this open. I've got no idea what they were thinking. Okay, so simply loosen this axle nut once that's loose, which is quite easy. Then we loosen these 4 bolts that are on top of the forks. That's not hard. Just get a rubber mallet and give it a tap. Should be able to pull out, which it has. You can see the damages here around the top of the axle. I'm going to have to fix that up because that's not going to allow it to slide in and out evenly, so I'll have to fix this. Just have a set of vernier calipers here and we'll measure the differences. 24.8, and where the damage is done, 26.2. So I'm going to have to shave this down and make sure that that will slide in and out freely. Okay, I've just spent a little bit of time there on the thing. Got 24.8, 24.8.9. I'll give it a bit of a hit with a bit of sandpaper. This should be fine. Okay, I need to take this caliper off. You don't normally need to take the caliper off to change the pads, but because this cable is running the wrong way around, I need to take it off and spin it around. I've also noticed there's a little bung that's supposed to be in here which is missing, so I'll have to get one of those from somewhere, but it'll be okay for now. There's a fair bit of wear here. It looks like that has been on this side for quite some time. These are your pads. The piston, which is just on the other sides here, will be too far out, so you need to get a screwdriver in there and do this on the old pads, not on the new ones, and squeeze that piston in a little so that the new pads will go in, because they will be thicker than these worn out pads, and also that new disc will be thicker than the old worn out disc, so that needs to get them pistons in a little. So you just pry it like this and your pistons start to go back in. Just do it nice and slow. That should be a lot better now. And then you just remove your pads. You simply take this Allen key screw out, and there's looks like a pin, and that will come out, and then your pads will come out. just remove simply like that. Then your pads will fall out. These pads here really aren't that bad considering how bad the disc is. They may have been replaced. Well, I know that the wheels were changed, so they may not have been on with that terrible disc for too long. You've got this piece here, we'll hook up in, there's a little groove up there, and then the pin will hold them in that I took out beforehand. And that's the pads in. Now to remove the old disc, replace it with the new one. Quite simple, it's only 4 Allen keys. Now because this disc doesn't have any tapers or anything because the bolts are just flat, I would assume that the writing goes to the outside because there's no writing on this side, so it would go this way up. That's your disc on. Now just to reinstall the wheel, make sure your disc slides in between the pads, and there's plenty of room here now because I've pushed all that piston in. Now I like to run a little bit of oil on my axle just to give it a little bit of lubrication. It makes it easier to slide in. And I think it's just better to slip a bit of oil on. I don't like to use grease because I've found in the past, especially with front wheels, because they don't get taken off as often as a rear wheel because rear wheels go through tyres faster. I find the grease goes a little bit hard and sometimes can get hard in there and makes it hard to get off, so I just like to put just a little bit of engine oil on. Just smear it on like this. This is just normal car engine oil. Rubber mallet, and just tap, not to flog the hell out of it. That fits in there against here much better now. Put the nut back on and tighten. And once this is tightened, it's pulled the axle where it wants to be inside your forks. Now you can do a little bit of a compression on your forks at this stage and just make sure they're right where they want to be because these are still loose. Now this axle is tight, so now you can tighten these top ones here up. Okay, now that the wheel and axle and everything is tight and the wheel spins with no issue, the new disc is on, the new pads are in. But these pads have been opened up from when we push the piston back in, so they're not going to actually work until you give a couple of pumps with your brakes to get that piston to come back up and meet. You've got to get the pads to meet the new disc again. So just come on up, a couple of pumps. See, it went straight there and had nothing. There, now I'm getting brakes again. So that took quite a few pumps to get that piston to come back up and get them pads to meet your disc. So make sure you do that before you get straight back on and ride, otherwise you will have no brakes. That is good now. So this is going to work well. You can actually hear the pads touching on that disc now. And hit the brakes. Good. Now that you've seen how I've done it, you'll see that I didn't have to beat the living hell out of it with a hammer. I will clean the inside of this up just because it looks untidy and it is burred over still. In there you can see it's burred. I haven't had to get a screwdriver in here and damage all the forks, beating it with a screwdriver. I have no idea what this person was doing, but they obviously didn't have a clue. And the brakes are all good. The bike's now safe to ride. I've relocated this cable here, it goes down in here now, so it's not supposed to go to the outside, it's supposed to go to the in. All I need to do is get a bung which has been removed and obviously not put back in here, and that will finish this off perfect. So I hope this is helpful to the person who gave this bike a hell of a beating getting the axle out last time, and thanks for watching.